Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to talk about how to find your information via SWC's website. Because a lot of people think that they can't only use like Google or a lot of web searches, but SWC offers lots of information through their online library, and it can be really helpful in finding credible sources for your essays. So I have a two-part video because usually I have a lot to say about this, and I just want to show you how to find information. Okay, so if you're on SWC's website, this is swc.edu. If you go to Student Services, there's a drop-down box, and there's a little area you can hover over and click on Library. So click on that. And you can do this with me as the video is going on. Pause at any point you want to. If you scroll down, you're going to see this little blue box. That blue box is going to be what you need to start your search, okay? It's going to help you go to different places through SWC's website and through SWC's library. That's going to help you. So when it says find out about in this little area, that's what you are using to search. So if you want to find out about dogs or elephants or whatever it is, you use that to search. Up at the top, you have 3 different bars, and you can look at the type of source you want. So if you want to look at articles, that's going to allow you to articles. So there are 4 different buttons down here. Those are the databases. A database is a place you can go that's going to just have lots of information, a lot more information, a lot of articles on that database. It's kind of like Google Scholar, but different. You can have, so the 2 that I like to use the most are actually right down here. It's EBSCOhost and JSTOR, and I like to use them the most because they're more generalized. So when you're taking a kind of introductory English course like this, you usually are not going to necessarily know exactly what you want to do with your career. Some of you might know you're going to go into nursing or have something specific, but a lot of times you're going to be looking at a lot of general ideas. And so general research. And so those 2 can be really helpful. I don't really use Nexus or Opposing Viewpoints as much, but they can also have some useful information. If you click on books and movies, well, I guess they don't have that. They don't have that as much. You should be able to find that. There used to be a section for that, but I guess not anymore. So we're just going to stick with articles for now, I guess. But say, you know, this is just stuff, religion and technology. I don't know what I was searching for, but I'm just going to do this. Religion and technology. Say somebody's doing this. It's going to ask you to sign in. That sign in is just going to be your exact one that you would use to get into your email. So it's always going to ask me to log in. But all of this you're already, you know, getting by being students at SIUE. I'm going to show you how to use these databases so you know what you're doing. So if I type in religion technology, those are very general search terms. You'll notice here it says 6,295 sources, which isn't like it is not bad. You want to have a lot of information, but if hypothetically say, and I hate this. My computer makes me Bing, so I always have to like go to Google, and I hate it. I like my computer overall. If I type religion and technology into Google, I find over 700 million hits. So you don't want to have too many sources. If you have too much, if you have millions of hits of articles or potential lookup, it becomes very overwhelming. So you want to find this nice little sweet spot between what you're looking up and how much information is out there. You don't want to be looking at too much and have yourself overwhelmed. There are a few ways to narrow this down. The first one is on the left-hand side down below. You want to click 2 boxes right here that are going to help you out so much. The first one is full text. Because some of the sources you pull up on EBSCOhost, you're not going to have the accessibility to all of them. It's just going to be half. And I know how frustrating it is to find the source and you love it so much and you want to use it, but it only gives you the first page. And so by having full text, you have access to the entirety of that essay. So really that took you from like a little over 600 to a little over 3,000. So that basically cut about 3,000 articles that weren't going to be full text, or should be partial. The other one is you want to click on this button that says scholarly peer-reviewed journals. If you click on that button, it's going to more than likely give you sources that have been peer-reviewed by other scholars in that field. So you are resting assured that it's 99.9% credible. You still want to analyze the source for its credibility, but clicking that button is going to more than likely provide you with sources that are credible. Notice that brought us down to around 2000. The other one you want to do is change the year. And so notice when I started, I think that from date was like in the 1800s, and that's really too old. So maybe you only want to look at the last 10 years. So if you do from 2011 to 2021, it drops you down to another 1,000. So it took only a few seconds. It took a little bit longer because I was talking you through it. But it just by clicking 2 buttons and changing that date, it took us from 6,000 to 1,332, which is going to ideally provide us with more credible sources, complete sources, and update, relevant and current sources. So then hypothetically say I click on this source. When you click on that, you're going to find all the information you need to cite the source as a works cited page. You have the authors. This is the journal, Nature and Nanotechnology. That's a very interesting journal title. I really like that. You have the date when it was published in 2015. This is the volume and the issue number, and then the page range. So it's only from 826 to 827. And then if you click on PDF full text, it's going to take you to that source. Okay, and so this is the source, and you can kind of go ahead and read it. This doesn't give a ton of information, but most articles that you find here are going to have a references page at the bottom. This is because this article is so short. It only has about 6 sources. Regardless, if you're trying to find information for even for this class or another class and you have to find sources, just finding one relevant source can be all you need, because sometimes they're going to cite sources that are going to also be relevant for your paper. This is not necessarily always going to work. For me, it's usually around 50-50, but it is a nice little tidbit because sometimes you can find something that's relevant. Or maybe I found authors before. So if I'm looking through a works cited page for somebody else, I find authors I didn't know existed before that talk about that topic. So I've learned about different people. Sometimes you find something that's really relevant, but you can't actually find it online. It doesn't exist on the internet that you have access to or something, but it can be very helpful to do that. Another tidbit is on EBSCOhost, you have these subject terms. All these subject terms are search terms that if you put them in, you would also get this source. Okay, you would also get this article. Technology, religion, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and information technology. So this article will pop up for all of them. One part of searching that's difficult is trying to find the right search term. And that's going to give you the information that you need, because a lot of times you might be using a certain search term, but the articles that you're looking for don't use that language. They use something slightly different. A good example of this is a few years ago. I had a student who was trying to find information about an article. About an advertisement. She was analyzing an advertisement. I think it was from Dove, and it got very popular on the internet, and it got shared a lot. And so she was using search terms to find information for this advertisement, social media, things like that. It wasn't one time she found an article, on the subject terms it was the word viral. And of course that's what happened. This advertisement, it went viral on social media. That's the word that all the articles she was looking for would use. So once she typed in viral advertisement, the research heavens opened up and she was able to find all the information she really needed. Now, in that situation, she ended up changing her topic later on, but if she was going to stick with that topic, she would have found a lot of relevant information. So sometimes we just don't have the vocabulary and we're not thinking about a certain word or phrase that's going to be helpful for that. So if you find an article that's kind of sort of in the realm of what you want to talk about, but it's not quite right, look at the references pages, because that also might give you. Also look at the subject terms, because that's also going to be the information you need too. Down below, you're also going to have this abstract, which is going to give you a brief summary of everything you need or not everything you need, a brief summary of the article. So it's to save you time, because research can be very time consuming. You can kind of read the abstracts first and then decide if you want to go any further. There have been many times when I've read an abstract and go, oh, I thought this was going to be about something different. Never mind, let me go back, okay? And that can be really helpful. In the MLA format videos, I discussed a DOI that sometimes you want to use because if you use a DOI that's provided, anybody, no matter what kind of database they have or computer they have, can search this and it's going to pop up with an article. Okay, and this is what I'm referring to at the bottom. So if you're citing a source like this on EBSCOhost and you want to use a DOI, this is what you would copy and paste in at the bottom. Okay. And if you go back, you can search other essays, and you can change your search terms. Sometimes you don't want, maybe you just want to talk about technology, right? Maybe you just want to do that. Every time you change it, though, go back and look at EBSCOhost, because it might not save these. Sometimes it does, but sometimes I've had where I have to go back and change the lot. But technology alone is really vague. It has 603,000, even with these buttons being changed. So maybe technology is too broad. You know, usually with research, you're starting with something broad and not as structured. And then as you find out more and more what you're writing about, and the research you need, and what's relevant for your paper, it becomes more kind of, it becomes more specific. The other option here is to go to JSTOR. Sorry, I'm really tired. JSTOR is also really helpful, and apparently that's not working here for some reason. Or no, there's no results found. So maybe if I just put technology, I was looking something up, or apparently one of my students was looking something up really interesting one time. So if I just put in technology, that's almost 500,000 sources, and you can change that to like the date. So if I wanted to do 2011 to 2021, I can do that too. This doesn't have the same set of criteria that EBSCOhost does, which is why I think EBSCOhost can sometimes be more user-friendly. But if you are looking on one database like EBSCOhost and you can't find any information you need, and you've looked at the references pages of the sources you can't find, you've changed your search terms, you've done everything I just said, the next step is to find a different database or go to someplace else and look at it. So if I was on EBSCOhost and I can't find anything, my next step would go to JSTOR. What other information is here? And so maybe you're looking for something related to classroom technology. I don't know, might be interesting. And so this looks like it's all the information you need is over here on the left. The URL is right over here, a stable URL that you can use there too. And if you want to download the PDF, you got to accept and download. Just means you're not going to use it for any non-educational purposes. And then if you download it, all the information you need to cite is up here. And then you get the source here. And let's see if there's any references pages. Here's the references for that. This is usually what it looks like, or a little bit longer. This looks like it's an APA format. And so say you want to maybe just Google, see if maybe Google Scholar or Google in general has this. You could copy and paste the title and try to search it into your search term and see if you could find it if you think it would be relevant. That would be more helpful. We can go back and search that a little bit more. If you can't find anything from there, I don't know why books aren't there. I'm wondering if it has something to do with COVID. Let's see if the ebooks come up. Probably has something to do with COVID, I'm not gonna lie. But if you have ebooks, it looks like they have a lot of ebooks here, so they've changed their library. SWICS changed their library page since I first looked at this, or last looked at this. But there looks like to be, if you come to ebooks, a lot of different places you can go for ebooks there. So if you go to 21st Century Scientology, so all of these, if I would pick whichever kind of ebook database would be most relevant to what you're looking at. They have lots and lots down here. I just picked the first one I saw. But if you come up here, you could probably, let's see here. And I'm going to stop this video in a moment. It tells you all the table of contents. And let's see here. Get link. I'm not quite sure. Oh, so this is just the handbook here. Let's see if I just put, I don't know, I'm putting in general search because just could be, okay. So this, if you put in your search at the top, it's going to provide you with a number of like books, ebooks that you can look at. that you can find. So if you wanted to, I think you can look. Let's see if you can download the book. So I think you could download the PDFs and you can set it that way. It depends on the database you're on, but a lot of them are going to be helpful. And so I'm going to stop this video right here because it's getting a little bit long. But the next video, I'm going to talk more about ebooks and more about other steps you can take after if you look at ebooks that you can take to find more research. So go ahead and look at the next video, which is part B. I'm only having 2 parts of these videos, but go ahead and start watching next video, part B.